Action! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Church's Hollywood Moments with me, Thomas J Churchill, a.k.a. Church. And I want to say to you, I'm so excited to talk about what we're going to talk about. Today's episode is going to be very different than any other episode we've done before. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Man, technology. I can. How are you doing?
Good, good. Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, always being around family is always good,
Nice. And the food's always is a nice bonus.
Yeah, and you continue to eat it all weekend.
I know. In fact, I had some today.
It's good. It tastes better each time.
That's right. My son just got here, so we're gonna let him get himself settled in here.
Wonderful.
And then we'll get going.
All righty here. How's it going, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Festivus, Kwanzaa, whatever everybody celebrates.
Wrap it all up into one.
We're a Festivus family ourselves.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I did not hit the record on there.
Okay.
But I did hit the record on my phone.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're
okay. So now we're rolling. Now we're live.
We are rolling.
Very nice. So we're going to do a quick introduction, and then we'll dive in with you. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. Welcome to My Dad's Movie Podcast. I'm Mick Johnson. I'm the dad. And with me, as usual, my son Tabor.
Hey, I am good.
Yes.
I was trying to come up with something new to say.
You did this last time.
Yeah, and I messed up. So
you need to figure these out ahead of time.
Yeah, I got to have a list. Yeah.
Right on. So tonight, we actually have a special guest on. We have Thomas Churchill with us today.
Hello.
Hey, glad you're able to join us.
Thank you for having me as well.
All the way zoomed in all the way from you're in Hollywood, right?
Hollywood, USA.
Very
Hollywood,
nice.
California.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we've got Thomas with us, and tonight we're going to spend some time. We're going to talk to a director, and we're going to talk about his movies, get to know Thomas Churchill a little bit better, and we'll just go from there.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
Nice. So give us a little introduction, Thomas, about you, where you're at, what you've got going on.
Well, I'm a filmmaker, writer, director, producer, sometimes actor, which was my first love. Growing up, always wanted to be an actor, and then I made my first movie at 17 to showcase my talents as an actor. But then I fell in love with the process back in New York. Shot it with my friends and my family, and it was went on to win some awards, and I got I guess I got hit with the entertainment bug then harder than normal, because I got hit with the entertainment bug years prior. When I was 7, I was one of the top 5 runner-ups for a movie called The Champ, a remake with remake version of a movie from the back in the day, but this one was starring John Voight and Rick Schroder, and I was in the top 5 to play the Rick Schroder role.
Oh.
And then, as you grow older as an actor, my parents not pushed me, but encouraged me because I had the drive to do these plays and school plays and showcases and going back and forth to Manhattan because I'm from New York. Born and raised New Yorker, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. So traveling every weekend to little sets for my parents were taking me and encouraged me to do my acting and all. But 10 years from there, at 17, I convinced my dad to buy me a video camera. And at the time, in the mid '80s, video cameras were pretty expensive, and so it was. I had to go get another. I had to get a job after school, and kind of my father taught me the value of a dollar at an early age. If you want something and you enjoy it and you want to do it, and you gotta, things don't just come for free. So I got a part-time job, and I paid off the camera and was keeping up with my schoolwork, but still enjoying the beauty of making movies at your fingertips.
Right, right,
I mean, nowadays anybody can make a movie with their iPhone. But back in the mid '80s, we didn't really have what everybody has now. Everything was like prosumer, kind of professional, but more of a consumer level. And to edit was hard. There wasn't any type of editing facility or what you guys can do or people can do now on their phones or on their laptops. I didn't have all that. It was all. Trial and error, and then when I
right.
did it at 17, I just fell in love with it and knew that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I've been blessed and grateful. Made a bunch of movies since I'm living here. They're all out. They're all streaming. Um, and got a chance to work with some great people and live the dream and literally have an office in Hollywood that the studio I'm in is pretty much iconic. All these classic television shows started here. It was built in 1917 or 1918. I can't remember at the moment, but it's got all these iconic shows came from here. So every day I'm blessed. I feel it. And I'm grateful.
Right.
Sorry, I'm Italian from New York. I ramble on.
No.
You talk all you want to talk.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So you started out at 7 years old. That's pretty cool. I always like looking up how did a director get started, and it always involves getting a camera.
Yeah,
They either borrow a camera or their parent gets them a camera. It's usually what is it, a Super 8?
Yeah.
yeah,
Of course, that's back, a while ago.
yeah,
So
yeah. Super 8, 16 millimeters. With me, it was the craziest thing was it was a full size VHS. I mean RCA. I'll never forget it. And again, I got the camera to showcase my talents as an actor. I
right,
wrote a script. I was writing stories as far back as God. I didn't go to kindergarten. I went to this other class. It wasn't a kindergarten. It was I don't know. It was I can't remember. But I went from there to the first grade, so I missed kindergarten level. Uh,
okay,
but the as far back as daycare center, that's what it was called.
yeah,
It was some school. It was a daycare center, and it was credited as kindergarten. And I got my first award as Doctor of Storytelling back then. And then I always loved telling stories and creating and writing and drawing and stuff like that. So I mean, kind of making movies from my head to
right,
writing stuff at an early age, but in acting, I was watching. I think it was SWAT, the original TV series, the SWAT and the Bionic Man. $6 Million Man was the one
oh
that
yeah,
kind of got me into the acting and watching it and got inspired and would redo things and then there's five movies that I pretty much credit to inspiring me so much that I wanted to know how to get in there.
Yeah.
How did he
I
get
had
in
I
it?
had planned on asking you that, and so it's great that you are leading us right into that with
Yeah, you're actually answering all my questions I
yeah.
have written down, so we're good.
Feel free to tell me to Tom. Let me ask you a question. But the five movies, the sidebar on that was the very first movie I remember seeing in the movie theater was 1976's King Kong.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
just blown away by it. And I remember the day. I remember the theater. I remember sitting there with my dad. I remember the first time really paying it because I would go to the movies as a little kid. My father would take me all the time, and you remember bits and pieces of certain movies. And then, but it was King Kong that had my attention from the beginning to the end. And I remember coming out of the theater and seeing posters for the next, whatever's showing next. And
Yeah.
then the following year was Star Wars. And I remember sitting in that theater with my dad again and watching that opening shot with the two spaceships. And I was like, wow, how do I get in that world? And then the following year again was Superman, and it's like three movies in a row, 3 years in a row. You're like, how is this possible? Then a few years went by, and kind of got yourself together. And there was 1984 was Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, this is good. It's an action film, and it's funny, and it's a comedy. It's a buddy movie. But it was 1989's Batman that pretty much said, this is you need to do this. You should make something one day that I remember sitting in a theater. It was so crowded, and shoulders to shoulders, people were laughing and cheering on all the right parts. And then, especially the one scene where he's flying the bat plane, and the bat plane goes up into the sky, and it becomes the bat emblem in front of the moon, and
Right.
everybody in the theater just lost their mind. And I remember looking around the theater and saying, "Wow, one day I hope to make a movie where people do this at my films because it's just what a reception of just seeing that and hearing that and it's just a great thing." And then right before that was in '87 is when I made my first movie and I won my first award. So it was all of that to build up to, again, I just wanted to showcase me as an actor. So I wrote the script, me and my friends. I was playing this character. I casted my friends, I casted my family, and I put it together. And then putting it together is where I fell in love with it. Because you're writing something on the page and you're like, wow, how am I going to do that? I don't know.
Right.
I'll figure it out. And then that's when the producing aspect fell in on my lap. Like, okay, I'm gonna need this for this. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need this person to look like this, and I need this location. And then when I was directing it and just setting up the camera and putting the camera, it was just in my head. I saw the film already, and I was just again shooting it to showcase me as an actor. But I just ultimately it's like all I can say is someone asked me once how is the feeling. I said it's like meeting your significant other for the first time and you just know, yeah, I
Right.
love this person. I got to know more about this person.
Yeah.
That's what it was
Nice.
like.
So, where have you educated yourself in the process of being a producer? Um, are you a reader? You just get practice by doing it constantly, or do you ever do any film school? Where did your education come from?
Well, a little bit of everything. I figured the best education that you can have is do it yourself.
Mhm.
Learn trial and error. I mean, you can sit in a classroom and somebody can teach you their methods, but here's the deal, and it may come across weird. You're either born with talent or you're not. You can't learn to be creative. You can learn techniques. You can learn styles. You can learn craftsman's the way to set things up. But your imagination is you're born with it. You're either born with something that you can see and see that level and see that side of creativity, well, you don't have it.
Right.
And it's not for everybody, and everybody has their own gift. Everybody's born with a special gift for them to give to the world. I honestly, from living the various careers that I had in my life, I honestly feel that I was born to entertain.
Mm.
It's been with me since I was a child. In 1994, I went to a 2-day film school. Dove S. Simmons of the Hollywood Institute. I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was 2-day course in NYU. This guy I barely knew contacted me one day to wanted to be my partner and learn about me and make movies with me and just read because he read about me.
Hmm.
Uh, I never did anything with this guy. The only thing that came out of it, the guy said, I bought tickets for us to go to this school, this thing. I wanna learn what you know. But what's crazy is in that time, without any prior education of it, everything Dove S. Simmons was teaching me, I already knew. And it was the
Hmm.
craziest thing. I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
Uh
Through your experiences and everything,
it was
you
yeah.
gathered this. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I was able to. I'm living out in California 16 years, and it was about, I want to say about maybe 8 years ago, maybe longer. Every year there's the thing called the AFM, the American Film Market, comes out to California.
Mm.
It's kind of like the Cannes Film Festival, but it's American Film Market. People go and either sell or purchase or promote all their movies, studios, producers, distributors,
Yeah.
it's not really for like the average Joe. It's every industry people. And one day I saw Dove S. Simmons sitting in the lounge at the AFM. And I walked right up to him and I said, I don't know if you recall because you have so many students, but I want to say thank you for what you taught me and what you showed me. I went on to do this and, this, that, and the other thing. My name is Thomas J. Churchill. And he says, Churchill. He goes, I remember Churchill. And I said, okay. I said, maybe that's you're being polite. But he goes, no. He goes, we're also Facebook people. And I said, yeah, we are. But I wanted to tell you thank you. So when I walked away, I took a picture with him. And when I walked away, I saw him looking on his phone to see, I guess, what I've done.
Right.
And it was a cool moment in my life because I wanted to say thank you to someone who kind of molded me, even like school teachers I would see from high school on Facebook, and I would reach out and say thank you. I mean, I know I was probably a pain in the butt, and I was what you call the class clown or comedian.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
relatable. That's for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
but I wanted to say thank you. So
Well, you made an impression,
No.
so that's cool. Yeah. So that's really neat. One thing that I really like is while you were talking is you were talking about your creativity and imagination kind of started really, really young. And but you were also talking about it sounds like your dad really encouraged this creativity all along the way.
he did.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool.
My dad, my I always get choked up with this.
You're good.
Cherish the time you guys have. My dad was an amazing person. I lost my dad in 2015, and I lost my mom in 2020.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, I was born on my mother's birthday, but my father was kind of the creative in the house. Like he would do drawing and stuff. I mean, never did it professionally.
Hmm.
And he was the first one to introduce me to the world of movies and television and actors. And he would tell me, for example, like when we went to see Conan the Barbarian, he would tell me to close my eyes and listen to James Earl Jones' voice. And he goes, "Do you know who that is?" As a kid, you don't. You're just watching it, and
Yeah.
he goes, "Close your eyes. Do you know who that is?" And I smiled because I thought I knew, and he goes, "That's Darth Vader." And I was looking, so he was the first one to show me that it's acting.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
behind the curtain. These are who people are. Um, it's funny. This leads also into a few things with my dad. My dad would take me on the weekends, and then after school, if I did good in school, and my mom was gonna cook some big meal, he would take me to the movies. So it was like the big reward, like I'm gonna go to the movies after school. But
Nice.
on Sundays or Saturdays, he would take me to the movies to get out of the house. So my mom would like do her things and clean or whatever, and get out, she'll say, get out,
Right.
go out somewhere, leave me alone. So he would take me to either everything, whatever was interesting. I mean, I would see action films, I would see horror movies, I would see Disney films, and my dad would always cover my eyes on any sort of inappropriate scenes, whether
Mhm.
it's nudity or gore or killing or whatever. So the crazy thing is, imagine your eyes are covered, but you're hearing all these sounds of horror, of horrific death, of people getting killed and everything, and you're like, oh my god, because I think this is because of my love for horror movies, because my ears would magnify what we're hearing like 100 times more than what's really on the screen,
Okay.
and so I think that is what got me into horror because of that experience in the theater. And to this day, sound is really important to me. If I'm going to show some scary scene on the screen, I know people are going to cover their eyes, so I want to scare them again with their ears.
Right.
It's funny you mention how important sound is to horror. The day I discovered how important sound was, I remember it was my family. We were all sitting down. We were all watching a scary movie, and all of my siblings were covering their eyes. There's five of us, by the way, and all of the siblings were covering their eyes except my youngest brother, and my youngest brother was covering his ears. And I was like, why is he like the scary part's coming? Why isn't he covering his eyes? He's covering his ears instead. And then I watched all of my younger siblings and all of them jumped except the brother who was covering his ears. And I was like, oh, I get it. So even though they were covering their eyes so they wouldn't see the scary part, all of them still jumped except the one who was covering his ears because
It's the build-up, the music, and everything.
Right. Right.
Try to
absolutely.
watch Jaws with your ears covered.
Yeah.
It's just a movie about a shark, a fish,
Right.
a poor fish trying to find his way.
Right. Right. Minding
Yeah.
his own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I
So
mean, it's equally so important on having that. And what's crazy is I remember the horror movie my dad took me to see, where half of the movie was just my eyes were covered. So I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I happened to be in this local video store that I'll go to and shop because I love DVDs and Blu-ray still, and I pick them up, and I love
yeah.
commentaries. That's another thing. How
Oh yeah.
I love hearing about how they made the movie and everything else,
Right.
and I saw the film that I remember. I was like, oh my god, this movie scared the heck out of me. So I bought it and rewatched it, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm saying, what a stupid movie. This movie's stupid. It makes no sense. Like as a writer, now I'm criticizing. It makes no sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and this scared me. So then I'm like closing my eyes and listening. I'm like, I can see how it scared me, but what a stupid movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was funny to revisit it. Some movies don't, carry
Mhm.
through as an adult.
Yeah.
So that brother that Tabor was talking about, that's Alec. He's the youngest of my sons, and he's actually down in BYU Provo in film school, and he is specializing in sound
Yeah.
for movies.
Yeah. I didn't put that together until just now. You're right. Yeah.
That inspired him because it moved him. That's
Right.
why he's covering his ears because that's great. And it's just nurture them and let them do and find their way. I mean, it's great. It's great. There's more people getting involved in the film business now than when I was, again, breaking in as a kid. Because at that time, it was impossible. You had to know someone who knew someone. Like my mom,
Right.
God rest her soul, used to say to me when I was a kid, when I would come out, well, maybe they'll let you in. I'm like, it's not a club. It's not like one guy's holding a key and say, who's next? You, back there. You made a
Yeah.
movie when you were 17. Come on in. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Come on, come. It's
Right.
not like that. I said it's whoever brings something good to the table, and there's so many outlets. There's more outlets now, and it's easier for the average person to try to make their way than it was when I came in. I mean,
Yeah.
you got all these streaming companies, you got all these various platforms, you got so much. You got all these technology and the
You have the
phones, the
iPhone.
iPads. Yeah, you can watch everything at your finger. I mean, you can even watch movies, make movies, and open your garage door
Yeah.
all from your phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
you're right. You can film a movie on your phone. You can edit that same movie on
Hmm.
your phone.
Hmm.
And then when it's done, you can watch it on the same phone.
Right.
That's right.
Since starting this podcast, so I wanted to do a podcast. Tabor's always wanted to do a podcast, and he's into movies, and I love watching movies. I like being entertained, and so then when we kind of put this together, I didn't really know a whole lot about indie film and stuff. I may have seen some and didn't even realize it, but since we've been doing this, I've really gotten to know a lot of indie filmmakers and a lot of directors, and it seems like uh, it's really growing. I'm getting to know people in Idaho and people in Utah and people in Hawaii and people in California. It's like this is just people are making films all over the place.
Kevin Thompson in Texas.
Yeah, yeah, Texas. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great thing. And again, like I said, I coming out of New York City in Queens in the '80s. Uh, I was the pretty much the only one that was always in the papers and everything else. And then a few years later, uh, I read about this other guy that came from my neighborhood, and I looked for him and
Hmm.
wanted to. He's only a couple years younger than me, but to this day, we know each other, 30, 35 years, 30 years, 30 plus years, and we're friends. We're good friends. Because I was like, and I seeked him out. I was like, oh, tell me about your process. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like motorcycle riders. When they're riding their motorcycle, they see another motorcycle, they wave, and they got their own little. Same thing
Yeah.
with the UPS guys and the FedEx. You ever notice if they drive by each other, they both wave. They may not know it, but it's like, hey, we're driving the same truck. We work for the same company.
It's
So
a
Right.
fraternity.
yeah, yeah, and it's kind of it's pretty cool. And he was just out. He lives in New York still, my friend, and he was just out here for the AFM, and so I got the chance to see him. But I talk to him all the time. But it's pretty cool. And now that there's a lot of people, and it's crazy is living in Hollywood and doing up my life here. You realize there's so many people like everybody. You could stand on a corner and throw a rock and hit like someone in the industry. So I look forward to the times when I go home to visit my family and other places where it's not so common, and you can just get back to the real world. But once everybody wants to know about who's this and that person, and we've seen you with this guy, and you were shooting this movie. Once you get past all that with the family, and then it goes back to normal life, and it's pretty cool, But I mean, I love what I do, but it's just sometimes it's like there's so many. You could go to a diner and just want to have a cup of coffee, and the guy behind you is talking about his deal or lady's an actress and who's pouring this, and
Right.
so it's everywhere. But it's pretty cool how it just exploded.
Yeah, and it seems like you really make a lot of connections, in this industry. And there's actually a few people, before I found out about you, I was talking to Mike Ferguson, who was talking about you. And I was talking to David Mitch Parks, who was talking about you. And there was somebody else. We just had somebody on. Who did we just talk to? Uh, Kevin Thompson. I think it was Kevin Thompson. I think I brought up that I was going to be talking to you, and he said, "Give a shout out that
Yeah.
to say hi to you." So
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
Was that when he was saying that they've been tap dancing around each other, trying to work with one another, and it just
might. I can't
hasn't lined
remember.
up?
I just remember when he said it. I thought, "Oh, here's somebody else that
Yeah.
knows Churchill." Yeah,
Well, as I said, I've made my first project when I was 17, and then I ended up doing a bunch of, I call them neighborhood movies. After that, I made about 5 or 6 movies in the neighborhood of New York, Glendale, Queens, Ridgewood, New York. And my first professional movie, I would say, was a movie I did in 1999. Uh, it came out in '99, the first version, and it won the New York Film Festival. It was a movie called The System Devoured, and it's a low budget cop film, kind of gangster movie. And but that movie taught me a valuable lesson. It taught me what I don't want to do in this business, because I was the camera guy, I was the actor, I was the director, I was the producer, I was the writer, I was the caterer, I was the editor, I was because at the time you don't have a whole army of a team, a core people that worked with you. I mean, there was people that came and worked with me making it, but then everybody goes out and goes on their other projects, which I never knew that until I literally live it. Then I realized, oh, okay, so everybody scatters. It's kind of like high school. Keep in touch, and then you won't see that person again until you look for them to hire them again. But a system devoured pretty much taught me how to finish a movie and not spend the money on garbage or get somebody that's not important. It also taught me what I don't want to do. I don't want to be an editor. I don't want to be a gaffer. I don't want to be a cameraman. I don't want to be. I want to direct. I like writing. I like directing. I like producing. Acting, I still have that passion for, but I don't have to be in all my films.
right.
Um, and sometimes people want me in their films, which is kind of cool. Uh, so after Devoured, I did a movie called The Emerging Past, and that's what brought me out to California. Um, and then since then, it's been really, really cool ride. I mean, I have films on Amazon, I got films on Tubi, I got BET Plus, I got Peacock, I got it's just it's great. Netflix. There's a movie I wrote on Netflix. I was supposed to direct it. It was going to be a Steven Seagal movie, and for some reason, Steven couldn't do it, and we ended up just selling the script. And it now what's his name's there? Michael J. White and Randy Couture is in the film. It's called The Hard Way.
Oh, okay.
I wrote that. It's an action film. Checkpoint is one of my other action movies I did about domestic terrorism with Goldberg. Um, and I wrote that movie to let people know I just don't do horror. My pops died in 2015, and I wanted to do something with his memory and with the service and everything else. And we put that film together, and it did very good. It's still people still like it, still come up to me and talk to me about that project. And then I ended up
Hmm.
doing a bunch of horror movies, and I got 3 Amityville films that I did that uh, 3 years in a row. Ended up going back on the Peacock network with amongst studio films. So I was the only indie films up there, and it was kind of cool to see the Amityville Harvest, the Amityville Moon, and the movie with Mike Ferguson is the Amityville Uprising,
Right.
which all 3 of those I wrote, produced, and directed, and was grateful for those opportunities. Internationally, I'm starting to get that with a movie I did called Big Freaking Rat, which people love overseas, and I get fan mail and everything else from that, which is still surreal. I'm just still, I look at myself as that kid from New York, still trying to make his way, even though I've been very grateful and blessed, but I still feel like, you know, maybe they'll get me in. They'll let me in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there's that one movie, and we just, uh, what was it, right before Halloween, there was a movie that came out that was mine called The Salem Chronicles.
Yep.
Streaming. It's another horror film about witches. And then it brings me to our current stuff. My producing partner, Alexander Zurich Hunt, and I put together a slate of films. We opened up an office here in Sunset Studios. And our first movie that we just had a screening for, and it did very well, knock on wood. And we're waiting for who we're going to go with distribution is another movie called The Three Killer Pigs. It's basically a revenge movie told through the eyes of these three pigs against
Right.
this farmer. And then we did a movie called Wax Man, which is kind of in post production now in regards to like a old school psychological thriller, like a Nightmare on Elm Street meets a Candyman in that vein.
Nice.
And then
I've seen the artwork on, well, all of these that you're talking about. I've seen the artwork. I've actually watched the Amityville stuff,
oh, cool.
and I thought they were great. I loved
Thank
them.
you.
I was
Thank
kind
you.
of curious. Are those linked? And
Those
maybe
three
I
movies in my trilogy.
okay.
And those three movies, what's funny is Lionsgate, who distributed them, put them as canon with the other Amityville movies, which was crazy because mine's nothing to do with the house.
Right.
I wanted to do an Amityville story about the neighborhood. I took a page from Stephen King's life, where a lot of his projects deal with Castle Rock. Everything's
Hmm.
in Castle Rock,
Right.
Shawshank's in Castle Rock. So I said, well, if this is happening with the DeFeo murders in Amityville and the set, what else is happening in Amityville? I mean, can can it be a vampire? Maybe he owns a funeral home.
Right.
Which I never seen. So when I'm writing stuff, I'm my first audience. So the projects that I'm writing and creating is stuff that I would love to see. I want to see that first. And then the Amityville Moon is about a werewolf, and the
Hmm.
Amityville Uprising is zombies. But when you look at all three of them, they all interact with each other in the Churchill verse, and they're my versions of
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman.
Yeah.
And to me, the other thing that I love doing, and I'll do it until the day I die, God willing, I can do this until my hundreds. I don't know if I want to live for 100, but in my 90s, I'll say.
Actually,
Uh,
that might be another story you can work on.
Yeah.
the
practical,
yeah,
practical
the
effects.
the director that lives to well over 100 and
Yeah, that'll be
Like Mel
like the
Brooks.
painting of Dorian Gray, where everybody, you get
exactly.
old. But yeah. So it was practical effects to me is. I mean, I love CGI, but it has its place. I can't see like I can't. I'm not into the werewolf transformations, and it's all CGI. I want to see old school stuff. I want to see jaws breaking, and the thing. So we accomplished that. I mean, with
Like
Amityville
American
Moon.
Werewolf in London.
Yeah, yeah. That's to me. That's the mecca. American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Silver Bullet. I wanted my story to kind of come in the same room. Those three are on pedestals in my book. But if I can bring an audience and they like my project, they like the Moon, Amityville Moon, and they put it in the same room, I did my job. I'm grateful. I'm
Yeah.
happy. But I mean, those three movies to me are iconic. maybe one day, 30 years from now, somebody would state, "Oh, the Amityville Moon is wonder." Who knows?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it would happen, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people like the films that we
right.
do.
Well, the other thing that we're at least I see a lot of times with movies that maybe they don't become huge when they're put together, but all of a sudden there's a cult following,
Right.
and then they get huge
Yeah.
based off of these people that are just following it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I can totally see these movies that you're doing, the Amityville stuff, as they're going to have some sort of cult following type to them.
And longevity.
Yeah, longevity through that. Right.
Well, where do you see the Three Killer Pigs? That's, I mean, to me, I feel like, and people came to me at the screening when we showed it 2 weeks ago. To me, I feel like my Amityvilles and my Salems are here, but Three Killer Pigs is here.
I jumped it. Wow. That's cool.
It's a fun horror film. It's it's just different, and it's I wanted to do something in the vein of a Dario Argento style horror film, and
Okay.
we I think we accomplished it with Three Killer Pigs.
Yeah.
But with each film to me is a snapshot of my life. Everything that I've written that's in my films, whether it's spoken words from the hero or the villain or the female or the man or whoever it is, but everything came out of my head of things I was either going through or knowing about or feeling. So it's a snapshot of my life, all my films, and sometimes, you either like them or you hate them, but at the end, you can't. I guess my films would be the first way of trying to let you guys inside my brain.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Seeing what I'm putting out on the screen is you guys getting inside my head and seeing what's going on. I mean, uh, values is important to me. Family values and a lot of things. And there's a lot of my films that I throw that in because it's different. You don't the family values of movies is gone. They don't have this no more. There's nobody still playing kids playing in the park anymore. It's different. It's a different life now than it was, and I try to bring a lot of that back within dialogue or scenery in my films. Big Freaking Rat talks about there's a family, and it's a tongue-in-cheek creature feature fun film. It's kind of like Friday the 13th meets Jaws, but with a giant rat. Uh, but in the
I watched that
core,
one last night.
what did you think of it?
I
You
liked
could be
it.
honest. Oh, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
it
You
was
can be
fun.
honest and say it sucked. But
When you say Friday the 13th, that is very much what I felt.
mhm.
It very much had a Friday the 13th feel to it. And so when you say that was an inspiration, I mean, yeah, because I felt that when I was watching it. And so it was kind of interesting to hear you say that as well.
There's
Right.
Easter eggs in that movie for homage. I mean, sometimes when you're hearing, like, I stopped listening to critics and everything else because they don't get it. They don't get a lot of the stuff. One person wrote, "I don't understand how a rat can go around killing people." And it's like, listen to the title. Why would you go criticize a movie called Big Freaking Rat if you,
Right.
so like there's a scene in with the campfire when they're singing the songs. That's a song taken from the opening of Friday the 13th.
Yep,
Same
caught that
song,
immediately. Yep,
and the Jaws references. There's a few things in there for Jaws. Even the
we're gonna need a bigger trap.
gonna be a bigger trap. The guy who owns what is it? The park ranger, his Brody. Same thing as
Chief
you
Brody.
know. And there's a lot of cool things. Even the thing when they threw it in its mouth and they shot it. It's to me. I wanted to do something that I wanted to see something different and fun and tongue in cheek with the gangsters. You know, they had a rat. There was a rat. That part to me was pretty fun to do, where they had the rat tied up and they got the Lenny Cusimano to come in and they think he's the exterminator, but he really is the exterminator. To
Right.
kill. So I mean, that movie's a fun film, and the Amityvilles are fun, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback. People liking the Salem Chronicles, which is somebody asked me over the last week, "Are you going to do another one?" I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have a few other things in the pipe we're doing, and so, an action film that's long overdue, a movie called The Avenging Angel. We're going to be doing, and then. After the response with Three Killer Pigs, I was asked, "Are we doing another one?" And at the end credits, it says these three piggies will return. So it's I want to do a franchise with the pig films and Waxman, and but the pigs are going to be. I think we're going to drop a trailer probably in the beginning of the year. I've been sitting on that trailer for almost a year, and I don't want to release it yet, but. We just put the website up, threekillerpigsmovie.com. We have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have a X, a Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days.
Hmm.
And I think we're gonna do with my what do you call it? My YouTube channel, Church's Hollywood Moments. I think we're gonna air a behind the scenes a segment and then probably release the trailer probably early next year, like
Okay.
beginning of January.
So Three Killer Pigs and Waxman, those are not out yet for
Nope,
people to watch.
nope, nope.
Do you have an idea of when that might be coming around?
We're listening to we have some good people that's interested in distribution
Oh,
for Pigs and Waxman, but Pigs will come out first. Um, Pigs, we're trying to do a theatrical. So that's one of the things we're waiting on because, I mean, worst case scenario, it's definitely going to come out for Halloween or Christmas because it
mm,
plays both. It takes place during Christmas.
okay.
So it's one of those horror movies that you can start watching it in Halloween and watch it during Christmas as well. And it's got a great cast. We got Brian Austin Green in it. We got Shauna Burgess from Dancing with the Stars. We got William McNamara from Copycat. We got Anson Williams, who came out of retirement. Happy Days
Happy Days, yeah. In case
came
you,
out of retirement from acting, but he's been a big television director forever.
yeah,
Uh,
there were a few people that when I was looking at the list of actors, it's like, wow, Robert Carradine,
yeah,
Revenge of the Nerds, Anson Williams. I grew up watching
yeah,
Anson Williams,
yeah,
so that was phenomenal. Robert Lasardo,
yeah,
I think he did the Mule
yep,
with
yep.
yeah,
Clint, Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, right?
Uh,
And I also the other thing I saw was
Rachel Pizzolotta, who's a up and coming model actress, who's one of the stars of the film, and we it's a fun horror film, and to see it for the first time with an audience during the AFM. Uh, and the cues were there. They laughed, they oohed, they awed, they were like, they all talked to the screen, and it was pretty spectacular. And we even showed the trailer for Waxman, and that went over really good too. So
right,
um, I'm grateful. I'm hoping that the ride's going to continue with those two films. People are going to like it, and as you said, either become cult classics or instant hits with the audience, and just becomes mainstream horror. Which, like I said, it's a horror film, but it's a fun horror film. And there's people that came to the screening that don't like horror and
right.
raving about the movie.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's one of the cool things is I'm not a big horror person myself.
yeah,
With the podcast, I'll sit down and I'll watch some stuff that we're going to talk about, but I'm not like seeking out horror films to
right.
watch. But one thing that I do notice, and I would notice with some of the stuff that you've put together, is there's a lot of the interactions between the characters and the dialogue between the characters is just phenomenal. The
Thank you.
story is not just, the monster or whatever's going on. The story is these relationships between people and the connections and those types of things. And I think that you drive that really well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
I
it's to me, like I said, if I want to make movies for longevity for people to watch, I guess somebody asked me once, what am I looking for at the end of, you know, when I'm finished, whatever you want to call it. I said I'd love to have film students dissect my movies and do what I did or what I've learned in school. Like, for example, I remember sitting in high school and we were watching The Shining, and the teacher would stop the film and say, "What do you think Kubrick was thinking? Why was he using this all red, the color choices? Why was there red in a lot?" And it stands for rage. It stands for anger. And when you watch it where the red scenes are, where like the red bathroom, I mean, it's all during the Jack Nicholson experience of him talking to the ghosts or him just flipping out. So
Right.
there's a lot of, and to me, that's writing on a different scale, and I, as a writer and a lover of film, when I'm watching movies like that and I'm seeing that, I'm like, oh my God, so brilliant. Like there's a new TV show on Welcome to Derry. Did you guys see that?
I've seen the first episode so far.
Okay. Did you catch the one soldier's name who has that gift where he can see things or go in someone's brain?
Um, Halloran,
Okay.
right?
What's his first name?
Is it Dick Halloran
And you
from?
know that character, who that character is?
Yeah, that's Scatman Crothers from The Shining.
Yeah, that's Scatman Crothers' character from The Shining. So
Yeah,
they're introducing The Shining in this episode. So that's what I said. All it's brilliant to me. That's brilliant writing. I mean, you're going into the universe of Stephen King with this one project.
Right.
How everything works out, and that's to me as a writer. When I do writing and stuff, I want my characters to be kind of layered in real life with the dialogue, so audience members can relate, even if they don't like horror or they don't like this particular style of movie. They'll get caught up with the characters and invest their time and watch and say, "Oh, okay, this is cool." So that's thank you for noticing that.
yeah. I also heard. I didn't see far enough into the show yet, but I was also told that there was some Shawshank Redemption references as well.
Yeah, there's yeah, there is. Yeah, because again, like I said, all the Shawshank Redemption story took place in Castle Rock. Derry is near Castle Rock somewhere. Um, I mean, obviously, The Shining is supposed to be in Colorado, but I guess where Scatman Crothers' character comes from might have came from Castle Rock. But here we see him in The Shining as an older man, and in Derry, he's in the service.
Mhm.
But I thought that was again great writing for Bravo to the team. But I think Stephen King is also an executive producer and has a lot to say with the project, which is good. So nobody butchers his stuff.
Right. It's always fun when you're watching a movie and they pull something from another movie, some sort of little thing. It's
Right.
like, oh, that is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's especially if they're in the universes like um I think Alien and Predator are in the same universe, but we only learned that they were in the same universe when they were fighting each other. But then what also is in the same universe is Blade Runner. That whole storyline, and the two Blade Runner movies, the Predator movies, the Alien films, they're all in the same world.
Mm.
So, which is kind of cool when, well, I guess it's the same studio also, 20th Century, well, Disney, so they
Right.
can make, because that's how they make more money with, you got to get this now because of that,
Right. Right. So you have Churchill Productions,
Yes, sir.
and that's the production company that you've got. Um, I was kind of curious about some future projects that you might be working on or thinking about, or what we can kind of, what's coming up?
Okay. Well, Churchill Productions is the Churchill Productions and AZ Pure production companies. That's the companies of Alexander Zurich Hunt and myself, which also has Church's Hollywood Moments, which is the podcast slash show told through Hollywood, told through the eyes of a working filmmaker, myself. So my show that's on YouTube pretty much talks about, we go behind the scenes, we'll interview people, show people more of pulling back the curtain of Hollywood from, where people can't really come out or
Yeah.
check it out. So that is a ongoing thing. We have 3 Killer Pigs coming out. Don't have a date yet, but it will be out next year, 2026. And I believe Waxman would also be out 2026. We have about 4 projects in the pipeline that we're going to be doing next year, which I can't really go into names yet, as
Sure.
the ink is still wet. I just want to make sure that, things, but I could definitely tell you Pigs, 3 Killer Pigs, and Waxman is coming out. And then there's 2 books we're working on. One's a novel based on Lazarus, Day of the Living Dead, my other film, which is streaming. We have an Easter egg of that in both movies. The poster in both films is in the background, and we're going to be doing something with that on the YouTube show, as well as releasing a book. And then there's our first graphic novel. Well, we got 6 comic books and then a graphic novel of another title that I didn't announce yet. So, but it's a fun title, and
Right on.
they all interact in our world as well as the church verses. David M. Parks usually calls it. So he's my oldest friend in Los Angeles.
Dave Parks.
Yeah,
Oh, right on.
we've been working together on God, going on. Well, we know each other 16 years, so I guess 15 years we've been working with each other.
Oh, wow.
He just started branching off and directing in the last few years, but ultimately been my cinematographer. So he shot my Amityville movies, my Salem movies, Big Freaking Rat, and what's funny is the picture behind me. Whoop, the picture, no, that way. That picture right there
Yeah.
is me and Mitch, David. He's
Oh,
the one laying on the ground with his camera, and I'm pointing to it. That's on Big Freaking Rat. And he did Pigs with me and Waxman. So
right on.
he's a great cinematographer. And Mike, we worked on. Well, I think Mike Ferguson did more movies with. See, I call David Mitch.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been calling him Mitch since I met him because I know his father, who's also a David. But I think Mike Ferguson, what did he do with me? He's got a little thing in Devereaux. He's in Amityville Uprising, which is his main thing. He's in Night Carnage.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and he's in a short film we produced. So, yeah.
Right on.
But,
Yeah, we love
oh,
Mike.
yeah, Mike's a good guy. What's funny is most of the titles that I like talking about, I say. uh, but no, I mean, every project I've done, there was a great experience making them, and sometimes the end result or how it's received is a little different. And to all filmmakers out there, there's a lot of hands in the cookie jar when it gets down to the editing stages and the distribution. There's a lot of people that have a lot to say
Yeah.
how the project should come out and should be cut. And sometimes that's beyond your reach. So, but ultimately, as the director and the producer, everything falls on your shoulders.
Yeah.
But the good, the ones that I have complete control over, uh, I'm very, very excited about. You know,
Yeah.
Three Killer Pigs, Waxman, all that fun stuff, and then everything else that's coming after it.
Well, and you may have hinted at a possible sequel on Three Killer Pigs.
Oh yeah, no, it's they're coming. There'll be
Yeah,
more
yeah.
pigs.
That'll be cool.
There'll be absolutely more pigs, and and like I said, seeing it in the theater and hearing it in the theater and watching everybody, it was just it really it pushes you. It pushes you to do more and more quality. In fact, what was really I talked about Batman earlier, how it
Hmm.
made me feel, and I know Pigs is nowhere near the caliber of Batman, but I heard sitting in the theater, it took me back to 1989 Batman when I was looking around saying, "Wow, this is great. One day I'd like to have that," and I can say it happened. Um, Hearing the audience ooh and ah and talk to the screen and yell at the character, "Don't go, don't no no, don't do that, don't do that."
Right. Audience participation.
Man, it was just it just. I guess it would be equivalent to a singer standing on a stage and he holds the microphone out and they sing the lyrics back at him.
Right.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah.
Gotta be a great feeling because again, when you're writing something, it's just you, sometimes the pen and a book, or you and a laptop. That's it. You're creating that world, you're creating that space, you're creating that location, and it just happens. And when people embrace what you do, it's a great thing. Like your show.
Yeah.
Your show's a great show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We experienced a little bit of that. Tabor had put together a short film called Bigfoot Falls,
Oh wow.
and it's about Bigfoot, but it's also has a story and a dad and sons, and so there's more stuff going on to it. But it was really cool when we went to that. What was it that?
The IFF festival.
Yeah. So it was in a festival and sitting in the audience, and his movie comes on, and hearing the people around
That's great.
making noises and gasping, and it was really a cool experience.
It's
Wow, that's great.
it's funny that you bring up Bigfoot Falls because I had a coworker who was working with me a year ago, and then she left because of some family issues, and then came back a couple months ago. And I had made Bigfoot Falls in the middle of her
Right.
absence, and I said, "Hey, I didn't get a chance to show you my movie," and so I showed it to her this morning,
Oh,
and she she started crying. I was like, "Oh shoot! Well now you got to do the rest of your shift after
right.
after crying."
But that's a good reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I get a chance to see that? Where can I see it?
Oh, you just go on YouTube and just type in Bigfoot Falls, and as soon as you scroll past 10 AI videos of Bigfoot, then I'm the one underneath.
I'm also. We could also figure out how to just send it to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We could definitely do
We'll
that.
just send it to you.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I mean, well,
it's
text me the link. You got my number.
Yeah.
there you go. Awesome. Well, you have anything else you want to?
I have one more question I'd like to ask.
What do you
Sure.
got?
All right. You have written a script. You're going to direct. Now you need money. Where do you go from there? What is your fund, what does your funding process look like when you're making all of these movies?
That is the million question.
Right,
So
The $1 million question for
right.
$100,000.
no, I get asked this question all the time, and
It's an important thing.
it really is, and it's a two-parter. My answer is a two-parter for you. One, sometimes money comes with. I don't go out and raise my own funds. I've done that in the past, and I still maybe will talk to people, and funds will come. But it's the hardest thing in the world. That is the hardest thing to me about making movies. It's not writing a script. It's not producing a film. It's not talking to actors. It's not finding distribution. It's getting the money.
Yeah.
Because once you have the money, all bets are off, and then you can do, you know how much you got, you know what you're going to shoot it with, you know how you're going to do it. The other thing that I always tell people is don't lose focus on the big picture. Sometimes if you're doing a movie and somebody gets, I don't know, they were looking for $30,000 and somebody wrote them a check for 100 grand. So you're like, oh my God, we can do this and we can get that. Oh, we can get that guy and we can go after him and we can do that. Don't do that. Don't even go out and buy equipment because that's the one thing that will you would lose instantly. What you do with that money is going to work for you. You hire the cinematographer that owns his equipment because that's the guy that wants to continue to be a cinematographer.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the guy. So every time that camera is obsolete, he's going to add things to that camera to keep it going because that's his bread and butter. You going out and buying a video camera, you're going to shoot it, and then right when you put it down, there's a new camera out there that's better than the one you have, and yada, yada, yada. Don't even go there. Same
Hmm.
thing with the lighting. You're going to buy all this lighting and stick it in your garage, and you're never going to use it again. Find a guy who's a gaffer because that's what he does. He'll own all the lights. He'll have everything you need. He'll have a 2-ton grip truck with everything you can think of to make your movie. You hire him. Same thing with the sound guy. Don't go out and buy a sound package. Don't hire the guy who already owns it. So
Hire my
now,
brother.
Yeah. Hire Alec.
right. So now you just saved a lot of money where you could take that money and you could put it on the screen. And the key thing is, don't people will tell you you got to put a name in it. Don't find a guy who's been on a reality show. Nobody cares. Don't find a guy who is on your local weatherman or that. Nobody cares. Best person to get is go to those conventions, horror conventions, pop culture conventions, and you got an army of actors sitting around signing autographs. All of them want to work.
Alyssa
So,
Rose.
so if you approach them, you talk to them. If they like your script, you work out a deal. Sometimes people will do it together. They'll work out a deal for you, or they'll manager you and say, "Go talk to my manager. Here's his card." That's the way to do it smartly. Raising money is one of the hardest things. In the beginning, you find someone that believes in that filmmaker, whether you or whoever. Find sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends and various people, but you never want to take someone's complete nest egg because it all has to do with doing something commercial. You want to make that money back for that person
Hmm.
because otherwise that person's going to hate you for the rest of their life because they believed in you, and if it didn't work out, then they lost all their money. I always tell somebody, don't put money in if you're gonna go to a casino and you're willing to lose $10,000, give me that 10 grand. You go to the same another guy, give me 10 grand, give me this guy. So before you know it, you got 10 guys with 10 grand, got a decent little budget,
Yeah.
and you write down what you're gonna give them back because you got to pay them back and with some sort of percentage that you want to do. Then you make a movie that's very commercial that people want to see. Don't make a movie about a tree. Don't make a movie about shoes because nobody cares. If you're an artist and that's what you want to do, beautiful. But then use your own money to do stuff like that. If you're going to use somebody else's money, they want to make their money back. It's a business. It's a film business. Remember that.
Right.
You make some money, you sell it, you get something that has a minimum guarantee, a distributor. Let's say you make a movie for $30,000, and somebody says, "Hey, that movie looks good. I'll give you a minimum guarantee of 100 grand." Guess what? You just made all your money back, and the guy you borrowed money from just made a little profit. You may not see any more money from that distributor, but you got money up front. And
Right.
if he gives you money up front to go make your movie, then you make your movie for less than what he's giving it to you so you can have money in your pocket to let people know about your movie. Because that's where we go back to my film, A System Devoured. It taught me a lot having this thing because once you finish a movie, people forget about post production. Post production costs money. A good
Right.
post production costs money. Then after it's finished, how are you going to get it out there? You can't say the internet. A lot of people will say the internet, but you can't say it because you do have enough people out there that would listen and do and go. You got to have a little bit of extra dough to maybe get a social media person that has the numbers and can get it out there, or the marketing team.
Right.
People forget about the other half of filmmaking, which is post production and marketing. Letting the world know about your film. I mean, you can do things grassroots, make a movie, find a billboard, a digital billboard in your neighborhood or whatever, find out how much that is, put it up there, sell DVDs, make some money, put it in a theater, make some money. These mom and pop shop movie theaters, they don't have to be chains, you
Right.
know. So but raising the money, that's the hurdle.
That's the challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, but once you have that money in your hand, focus on the golden goose at the end of the road because you need to make sure you pay everybody back. Because if you pay everybody back, guess what happens? They give you more money.
Right. They want to
Say,
invest again.
go make another movie. And
Right.
then here's the cool thing about when I tell artists, bohemian style artists, where they're making movies about, I don't know, their grandmother or whatever. Do a few commercial films, make some money for somebody, and then what you do, you do like 2 movies for them, 1 movie for me. 2 movies for them, 1 movie for me. And that's how you do it because then you can still get your, if that's what you're looking to do, like just regular art type movies, but make the other people their money, make some money for yourself where you can take a little bit of that, put it towards other projects. Because if the goal is to have the money to make your own projects so you don't need investors. The more money you make, the more money you can flip and put into a project and make your own stuff. That's the
Yeah.
goal. Everybody wants that goal, but everybody gets lost trying to spend extra money on things that you don't need to make that movie.
Hmm.
You don't need a big name. You just need a good story.
Yeah. Good story. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Tom, anything else you want to talk
Nah, I
about?
was gonna say this was fun, man. I felt
Yeah.
like this was. I hope I wasn't boring. Was I
No.
boring?
No, no, no.
No,
Not
we
at
got a
all.
lot of good insights. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I had a whole list of questions. I like that you just talked and answered all my questions. It's like, okay, well, that's perfect.
Oh,
Nice.
well,
So
thank you.
for the listeners out there who are going to be listening to this, check out Thomas Churchill Productions. Look him up on. Well, you're on a lot of platforms.
Oh, they can find me on all social media. They can, IMDb. They can Google me.
Right.
All of my films. They, put me in the film search if they want to see any of my projects.
Yeah, a lot of films out there to watch, and I'd highly recommend it.
Well, thank you.
And then look forward to the three Killer Pigs coming out at
Yeah,
some point, and Waxman coming out. That's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah, yeah. Well, guys, thank you very, very much
Yeah,
for having me. This was fantastic. I appreciate you both, and
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing together, and
That's great.
It's a great thing. Father and son team. It, it
Yeah.
touched me instantly,
Yeah.
and you guys have a blessed holiday and Festivus and Christmas and
Absolutely.
whatever you celebrate.
Yes, and you also. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. This was
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Thank you guys. Be safe out there. God bless.
Will do. All right. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Let's roll on out of here.
Roll out. And we're gone.
That is one big freaking rat.
Yes.
That's from the movie.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe you saw a rat.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for listening to My Dad's Movie Podcast. We had a lot of fun creating it, and we hope you enjoyed it.
For more content, please check us out at Facebook and YouTube at My Dad's Movie Podcast, or visit our website, mydadsmoviepodcast.com.
And always, if you'd like to help support us, please check out our Patreon at My Dad's Movie Podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
It's the little things like this that make me happy. Thank you, everyone out there that has subscribed or continue to watch our show. I am blessed and grateful by you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come visit our swag store, Church's Hollywood Moments swag store, as well as Churchill Productions swag store. Come visit us. Your body a little bit while you're doing it. Cut! Cut! Wrap! Good job, everybody!